What's good, guys? Today in this video, I'm going to be breaking down my latest music video, the A1 Haven Kobe video. In this episode, this BTS, I'm just going to be breaking down the set, like me on set. If you're interested in the effects, the different flashes that I put into this music video, just click up above to go over to the flash tutorial because that should be out at this time as well. So like I said, in this, I'm going to be going over the different gear that I use, my camera gear, my different lighting setups, where I place the lights at, and just my overall thought process of me shooting the video. So let's dive straight into it. The first thing that we're gonna go over and get out of the way is the camera gear. So for this particular music video, I used my GH5. I use the GH5 for pretty much all of my music videos at this point in time. So I use the GH5 as the camera. Stabilizer wise for this, I decided to use the Ronin just because I wanted to just have an overall smooth vibe for the majority of this video. It's like a pretty hype track. But you know, just the different sounds that I process in my mind. It's kind of like a smooth, fast kind of song, if that makes sense. I don't know, I just didn't see it being super rocky the entire video, like, you know, shoulder rig shots the entire video. So I decided to use the Ronin. And in terms of lenses, I used the Sigma 18-35 for the majority of this, just because I wanted it to go fast. And you know, while you're using the 18-35, you're able to go from significantly wide to somewhat medium to close pretty instantaneous and not having to switch out lenses. And I also use the Canon 50mm for a few shots in this, actually not too many though. More so you're gonna see it being used a lot on the second setup and maybe even only the second setup. So regardless of that, let's just get into the first lighting setup and the first scene. So this first scene is taking place, it doesn't matter where it's taking place. This is the first scene. And the way we set up the lights for this, the kicker, not even the kicker, my bad. The key light for this is the 120D. And I use the 120D for the key light source for a lot of my videos, just because it's a big source of light, depending on how you shape it. And you can make it significantly soft, and you know, key light sources look the best while they're soft, in my personal opinion, depending on the different look that you're going for. So the different thing that I did with the 120D in this particular video though is I decided to shoot it through a big, huge diffuser. I forget what my diffusers are called and the company that they come from, but I'll make sure to link those down below because they're like freaking huge. Like, these things are taller than me. So the biggest reason that I decided to do this is because I wanted a really large light source. I could have used the 120D with the light dome, but the light dome is only but so big, and it also just is round. If you shoot it through this big diffuser, you know, it just makes the light a lot larger and also a lot softer. So I decided to set up 2 light stands and shoot the 120D through the diffuser. Second, we're going to be talking about the tube lights. These are just here to enhance the actual scene and add a stylistic look to it. These aren't actual Quasar Science tubes. These are something that I made. If you guys didn't see my video where I show you guys how to create these, just click up above. You can go purchase these from Lowe's, create them. They're fairly cheap and they're really quick to create. So I knew I wanted a stylistic vibe for this, so I decided to just line these lights up the side of the actual walkway where I was having it perform. And they're being powered from the house. My freaking wire management for this video was awful. I originally planned to get this sent off to a visual effects person to get this cleaned up in post, but just the time frames didn't work out for this. So I don't know, just bear with me. The video's going so fast, man, you probably won't even notice it. Yeah, we just use these and we are powering them from the house using really long extension cords. So these were the lights that we were using for the stylistic look. They look cool. They're just lined up the side. And when you actually look at the super wide shots, you can see them. And they just add a little bit to the scene, a little bit more to it to make it look a little more cool, obviously. Now, the third and final light in this shot is in the background. It's very subtle and it's very small. But back where you can see the guys in the background, it's just like a green light there. And that's just me putting an LED panel into the corner, putting some color plastic on it and just letting it shoot up. And you know, it's just something to add a little bit there. It's not really much, but it, you know, it adds to the colors in the video. The overall color scheme for this video, I knew it was going to be a lot of yellows in it, and I know that green complements yellow really well. So, you know, I just wanted to add that extra color into there. It's nothing major, but without that light back there in the background, it would have completely shadowed the guys out back there. And you know, it just adds a little bit of color. So this is just me putting an LED panel into the corner and putting some colored gel, some colored plastic on top of it. The next thing that added a little bit to the scene, which is very subtle and you don't really notice it while you're looking at the music video, but without it, you would, like, you know, instantly notice it. It's like light and day. It's me putting water onto the actual walkway where A1 Haven was performing at. Now, my reasoning behind this is if you put water onto like concrete or just a surface, it adds reflection to it, and it just, lights up the subject and the actual surface that he's on, if that makes sense. It's random spurts of fog. We shoot this scene like tons of times, and then when we go into the editing process, we just try to cut out the scenes that have the fog in it, just to keep it kind of consistent throughout the overall flow of the video, if that makes sense. And that's pretty much how we set up the first scene. We have the key light, the 120D, we have the stylistic tubes on the side, we have the LED panel in the background, we put the wood on the ground to add the reflection onto the surface that he's standing on, and we also have that fog that's coming into the background randomly. So yeah, man, it's a really simple setup, but it looks cool the way we set it up. All right, so let's get into the second scene. The second scene looks very dynamic in the music video, but it's actually super simple the way we set it up. So I knew for a fact that I wanted to get like a really cool looking background in this video, something that was kind of wild and outlandish, and something that when people look at it, they wouldn't really know what they were looking at, if that makes sense. So what I did was I went to one of my local fabric stores and I just picked up the most outlandish fabric that I can find. Like I said, I knew that the color scheme for this video was going to be like predominantly yellow, so I decided to get like a metallic gold fabric. And you can go to pretty much any fabric store and get some stuff like this. Like, this is super easy to do. So I got a really big fabric. I got it around like 8 feet wide, and what I was originally gonna do was put it on 2 light stands and then just have someone standing behind it just to shake it a little bit. And the reason why we want to have this shaking is because the reflective element of the background, when you shake it, the light goes pretty much everywhere, and it also adds to the actual energy of the performer A1 Haven in this video. So you got that moving, you got him moving. It just looks super intense. I did a little bit of post-processing in terms of adding an extra shake element to that shot, but it's pretty intense in terms of energy before I even did that. My bad, where were we? All right, so yeah, the reason why we were shaking the background was to add an extra element of energy to the shot. Now, the way we lit this was actually very simple. We really just used one of these stylistic tubes that we used in the first lighting setup. We mounted that to a C-stand boom arm using some gaffer's tape, just wrapped it around a couple times. It's a really light light in terms of the weight of the light, so it's not gonna fall. And we just placed it right above his head. It's just a really nice overhead lighting source for him. It lights his face really well, and it also lights the background really well, and does some really nice reflections when you shake the background. So yeah, this is a really simple setup. Like I said, I originally wanted to put it on 2 light stands, but we had some help on set. I had my homie Christian, my homie Doan doing the holding of the background, and they were just shaking it while they were holding it. Got him performing in front of it. And the lens that I was using for this setup was the Canon 50mm, and I actually shot this shot handheld. No running use for this, just a rocky shot. It's cool, it has a lot of energy. Really simple to set up as well. So the third and final setup for this video, we used the yellow Corvette, also tied and added into the color scheme that we were going for the entire video. The way we lit this was very simple as well. So with this lighting setup, we used the 120D. We just put this onto a boom arm on a C-stand, kind of similar to the last lighting setup that we used, but the modifier that we used for it was a little different. I decided to go with the space light attachment for the 120D on this setup because it just provides a really even, soft light source, and it's full 360 degrees in terms of light, so it's no cutoff on it. So we just placed this off to the side of them, and I used my mini 120 kit, by Aperture. I'll make sure to link that. I'll make sure to link everything in the description if you guys are interested in any of these things. And this is just a little spotlight that I had off to the side of them just to, add some kicker light to them. So this is a really simple lighting setup. And we decided to use the remainder of the water that we had from the first setup on this. We just put it on the ground just to add a little bit of reflection from the car, the headlights coming from the car. Yeah, it's a really simple setup. I shot this on the Ronin using the Sigma 18-35. I got some close-ups. I got some wide shots. It's just me moving around all over the place, shooting this a couple times and taking out what I thought was the coolest from this actual shot. One of the reasons why this shot was so cool to me was because I shot it kind of down low, and when I pass through the headlights from the car, it just gives the video some really nice flares that come into it, and it just adds a lot to it. But the setup is really simple, man. This is just us in a really dark parking lot, 2 lights, really simple, but really cool lighting setup. So yeah, man, that's it. This is gonna complete this BTS segment of the A1 Kobe video. If you guys enjoyed this, make sure to drop me a like. Let me know down in the comments if you guys would enjoy more of these, because I have tons of BTSs for videos that I just have never released, just because I feel like they're not that complex to figure out. But you know, hopefully you guys got some insight from this BTS in terms of you know, some inspiration on where you guys would want to place lights, and you know, how you guys can build off of ideas that I've already created, if that makes sense. So yeah, man, like I said, drop this video a like, comment, also subscribe to this channel if you're new here. Peace out, guys.